breaking news, everyday news on Prince Mila Entertainment TV. Today is the 1st of November 2025. Remember, guys, to follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, and also on our YouTube channel, which is Prince Mila Entertainment TV. So, the High Court has postponed sentencing for convicted businessmen Moses Mpofu and Chimombe to 17 November following their conviction for defrauding the government of more than $7 million under the presidential court pass-on scheme. The two were found guilty after a full trial, during which the state provided beyond a reasonable doubt that they manipulated a government tender process through fraudulent means. The pair, who appeared before Justice Bisirayi Kwenda and were convicted on October 22, had pleaded not guilty. Mpofu denied the charges, insisting the dispute was a civil matter and that the state should have charged their company, Black Tech, rather than him personally. Chimombe also denied any wrongdoing, saying he was only involved as a member of a black empowerment pressure group and had no part in the failed deal. Their lawyers argued that the two men had been unfairly targeted by their former business partner, Whitney Chivayo. Chivayo accused them of leaking audio recordings in which he allegedly admitted bribing several government officials to secure contracts for supplying election materials, naming figures such as Chief Cabinet Secretary Martin Rushawaya, former Central Intelligence Organization head Isaac Moyo, and Zimbabwe Electoral Commission Chairperson Justice Priscilla Chukumba. Chivayo has publicly claimed the men could face 20 years in jail. Justice Kwenda said the pair had acted in common purpose and shared the guilt. Kwenda said a company is just a person in terms of the law, is really not a natural person created by God. As being a fiction, you can touch it. It does not have a brain of its own. It does not think or act on its own. So it's very difficult to separate the acts of a company from the acts of the person who represents it. Mpofu must have been aware of his obligation. He submitted a bid which contained falsified information, which confirms that he was liable. He should have called witnesses to confirm that he was not involved in the submission, but he did not do so. He knew these witnesses were important as he was being charged in his personal capacity. His decision not to call these witnesses was his own, except that one witness had died, which was not verified by production of evidence. Justice Kwenda said that when a presumption leads to criminal liability, the burden falls on the accused to prove they were not involved. Speaking about Chimombe, the judge noted that he attempted to distance himself from the case, but witnesses confirmed that he regularly attended the 11 meetings. Kwenda said the second accused person denied he had much involvement in this scheme. We must resolve that factual dispute, and that can be rectified by reference to the testimony of the witnesses. The witness, John Basera, Agriculture Ministry Secretary, and Nundurwa, said they would attend meetings together. We therefore found that he participated. We do not find his explanation convincing. If he said he attended meetings with Nundurwa, that would have nothing to do with lobbying for an award for Blackhead, because it had already been awarded. Justice Kwenda dismissed Chimombe's claim that he attended the meetings only to resolve disputes as part of the Economic Empowerment Group, EEG. He ruled that both men were key players and found them guilty of these charges. Mpofu's lawyer Ashu Mugia said they respect the judgment but are not satisfied with it. He told reporters outside the court that they plan to appeal to the Supreme Court after sentencing. Mugia was instructing Professor Lavuma Dugu while Tepson Jetero representing Mpofu. Prosecutors told the court that Mpofu and Chimombe, through a company called Black Tech Private Limited, responded to a September 2021 call by the Ministry of Lands and Agriculture for bids to supply 632,001 goods under a scheme worth $87.7 million. The program aimed to distribute goods nationally, with beneficiaries expected to pass on offspring to other needy households. Prosecutors said that after winning the tender, the contract was signed by Blackhead Livestock and Poultry Farming, an unregistered company, with Mpofu representing the firm and Chimombe acting as a witness. Investigations later revealed that Black Tech Private Limited had no valid 2021 tax clearance certificate from the Zimbabwe Revenue Authority and that the QR code attached to its national social security compliance certificate actually belonged to a different company, Skywalk Investments. Both documents were mandatory for eligibility to bid. The National Prosecuting Authority (NPA) said the ministry relied on these misrepresentations, paid 30% of the contract in local currency, which was 1.6 billion Zimbabwe dollar, reportedly equivalent to $7.7 million in two installments on April 21 and June 29, 2022. When delivery of the goods was delayed, the ministry checked with the Black Deck, which claimed it had mobilized 32,500 goods ready for distribution. Verification at various sites, however, found only 3,713 goods. The ministry then cancelled the contract on August 29, 2022. To date, prosecutors says only 4,208 goods worth $331,445 have been delivered, leaving the ministry allegedly prejudiced to the tune of $7,038 US dollar. Mpofu argued that the funds paid in a virtual local currency had depreciated before they could use to purchase goods. At the time of the arrest, he had Chimombe maintained that the contract was still active and claimed the ministry had not formally declared the breach. They said they were attempting to negotiate the contract due to currency losses. And so guys, that's the latest here. So the two men will be back in court on November 17, and yes, for sentencing. They were convicted of defrauding the government of more than $7 million under the presidential gold pass on scheme. I think we talked about this several on our several videos. Yes, on the last previous videos we did. I mean, it was a very good tender. I mean, $87.7 million US dollar. It's a lot of money, but at the same time, we all know that the Zimbabwe dollar did not depreciate in a very quick time frame. So they were supposed to mobilize those codes in time. At the same time, almost 7.7 million US dollar, but in Zimbabwe dollar, which was RTGs. And so I also think it was a good deal. It's just that they become too greedy. At the same time, it wasn't their purpose to deliver positions. I think maybe politicians will come and rescue them, but in fact, papers. And yes, I've seen so many contracts, government tenders at Puavano, and it's just in court because of lack of evidence. But in this instance, my prosecutors are they deserve to go in jail. And it just shows whoever was protecting them, otherwise, I've seen so many government tenders achingotakatika in court. Yes, nyani postponed udzamara public yakanganwa nezvayo, then was later acquitted. But in this instance, vakanyatsoona kuti vakomana vakona mujeri. And one thing which was surprising that the court proceedings were also being televised live on ZBC, so which means they wanted to show an example out there with for real, and for sure avachotogara mujeri for a long time, although they will appeal after sentencing to Supreme Court, but I don't think it will change anything here. And so we'll be keeping you guys up to date with the latest here on November 17, when they'll be back in court again, Mike Chimombe and Moses Mpofu. And so guys, this is daily news, breaking news, everyday news on Prince Milagetsemi TV. Thank you for listening, thank you for watching. Listen.